OtraXFavor. This is one more, please. Hi, this is Richie and welcome to Otra, por favor. As you guys know, our podcast is about fútbol, vida, and cultura. And thank you for listening to our content or watching it in every platform that we have it available. I appreciate you guys, and also appreciate every guest that's been here. Today it's a quick recording, and it's just based more so on my impressions of the game against Mazatlan FC. For those of you that don't know, we are currently playing the Leagues Cup, and our group is with Mazatlan FC and Juarez FC. The first game against Mazatlan was on Friday, July 21st. It was a result that wasn't favorable. A little bit about the game. We started the first half. It was 0-0. Pretty. I would say both teams were conserving their energy for the second half. It was hot out there. It was over 100 degrees. And we started seeing more action in the first half. I think right after, the kickoff of the second half, a minute 49, Josue Coleman scored the first goal. And then we have a response to that with a penalty kick executed by Diego Fagundes. But right after that, Andres Montano scored the second goal for Mazatlan, which now placed them 2-1. Everyone in the stadium that was there was, hopeful that after Fagu scored, we would be in a different position. Unfortunately, Mazatlan had a quick response, and it was very sudden. On my side, I was actually finishing the edit of Fagu's penalty kick. And when I look up and someone got my attention, pretty much, thinking of or saying like, "Hey, what the hell happened?" And I look up and they're celebrating on the other side of the stadium. I'm on the south end, and Mazatlan was shooting on the north end, so that's where the goal happened at the Q2. So, and then after that, we did see Austin FC come in and create more chances, opportunities to score. The ball was, it was very disputed between both teams because Austin FC was trying to make the comeback or tie the game, and Mazatlan wanted to either keep the score or they wanted to add more for the goal differential in the group stage. One thing that I noticed, it was just a very tough game. It was an intense game, and I think both teams, for the second half, considering the amount of injuries Austin FC had, physically you can see them. They were going at it. They were doing everything possible. But there's a couple of things that I think why the result didn't go in our favor. The result was 3-1. Austin FC lost. And one thing that I wanted to just point out is the preparation of the pregame preparation, the pregame form. Austin FC was coming from, they were starting to build momentum from previous games, and they were winning some meaningful games where you have, especially against Kansas City, that, they blew us out in Kansas, so we came here and beat them. So we thought that would help us carry the momentum over to this, game against Mazatlan. But one thing that I noticed from our side, from Austin FC, is there wasn't really much preparation, I would say, or the analysis of how Mazatlan plays. I don't think we did the adequate work to understand how they played or what they did. I believe Wolf maybe thought it would be enough to just play with the Wolf ball. Now, also, there were several injuries that Austin FC had. It was Drusi was gone. Dani Pereira was also injured. Leo Beisenen is still injured. He's going to be out for a couple more months. Rigoni is out, as well as Alex Ring. So would, is that something that ended up harming us? And if they were starting the game, would that change something? We don't know. But at the end of the day, the game still had to be played. And now looking at the other side, what I noticed from Mazatlan is I noticed the coach really understood what they wanted to do and how they wanted to play against Austin FC. I was part of the press conference, and what I noticed is how Rescalvo, their coach, he pretty much talked about what Austin FC how would they play like, and then how would they counter the possession Austin FC had, and basically allow them to play in the wings and transitions as we usually do, but cut the spaces and not let any balls go through the area where Austin FC was attacking. Their coach Rescalvo also pointed out how their goal was to shut down or minimize the effect of Valencia and Fagundes, and also looking at Sardes starting the first the game as our striker. He really didn't have much chance to move around, or every time he would go somewhere, I noticed through like my lens in the camera that he was isolated. Urruti came in, and it was a sort of a similar situation for him against the defenders of Mazatlan, because they were playing pretty uptight in the back. And after Urruti came out, then Bruin came in, and he had a little more openness, but that's because of the inertia of the game and where the game was heading, because you had Mazatlan attacking a little more or counter-attacking anything that we would give them. So it was like I said earlier, not a favorable result. But one thing that I want to point out also is just the where do we go next, or what's going to happen next? What do you guys think would happen with the team now that we're going to play Juarez on Saturday the 29th, and Mazatlan is going to be playing Juarez on Tuesday the 25th, I believe. So next game is going to be a crucial game, because you're not playing 3 games as a usual group where you have 4 teams. You're now just playing 2 games with 3 teams in the group, and that changes a lot of things, because now you have to look at the goal differential and also our team's fitness, or more so the state of the health situation, the injuries, who's injured and who's not going to be around. That's starting to cause it's starting to take a toll on the team, and it's starting to wear down what Austin FC is trying to do, especially Coach Wolf, his plan, not having to keep players there. So, however, I don't want this to be sort of an excuse for us to let Josh Wolf off the hook. But he is also responsible for any decisions that were made. I believe we all have our approaches and how this would have, been planned. I have my own approach. I have my own way of thinking. I thought, my thinking is when the transfer window comes, to come in and bring in a couple of players that know La Liga MX. And then I can help you understand a little more of how Mazatlan and Juarez will play or are going to play. So maybe the call up of a player like Alonso Ramirez would have helped out. If Damir Rodriguez, I know he had an injury from Austin FC too, he would have also helped out, and as well as Cristo Vela, even though they're still young, but who knows? It's up in the air. I think now the one thing is just looking forward to what is going to happen against Juarez, and see where we're going to go from there. Especially because we haven't really had the most favorable results against teams outside of the MLS. We haven't done well in the U.S. Cup, and we actually haven't done well in the 2 international tournaments that we played, or we're already playing one. This sort of just brings back a retrospective of what the intentions are for the team. Are we going to be focusing more on just the MLS and not really worry about those international tournaments, or is the future going to be built so Austin FC can compete in 4 tournaments at a time, like how it's happening this season? Not at a time, but respectively in whenever they need to compete. So what is Rodo going to do in regards to his input? Where are we going to go with any signings that are done? I know because of the limitations that Austin FC has with these salary caps and all the restrictions in the league, who can we bring in? Who can we let go? It's going to be a busy summer, and I think there might be some changes before the transfer window closes this summer. But I just want to also highlight that it was a bit not frustrating, but it was a bit of a. I mean, of course, it's a negative result, but I did see the players in the mix zone. Some of the players that we usually see pretty cheerful after a game, even after a loss, or they're willing to respond to questions that the media has for them. They felt disappointed in themselves. I think there was a lot of self-criticism that I noticed from some players. I got a chance to ask Alan Bisk a question, and he pretty much talked about how it's everything falls on them at the end of the day because they're the ones in the pitch, and they needed to improve and work more to find a way to win this type of games. I also spoke to Urruti, and Urruti, his idea was to give it more to the fan, especially in this new tournament. But it was tough for them because they don't know the team. They don't play this type of teams every day. So it comes down to the preparation of where what is these coaching staff, what information are they giving to the players. And I mean, looking at Mazatlan players' responses, of course, after they win, it's easier to answer to the media. They pretty much talked about they wanted to win this as a collective, and they did. And they knew that Austin FC was going to play a certain way, and they executed their game plan. This game right here against not one of the most recognizable teams in Mexico, or some might even say not the best team in Mexico, it should help us also reflect on football. Nothing is given. You got to work for the result, and you got to go out there and compete. And I think Austin FC has to find a way to learn how to compete in this tournament, because over time this will affect the relationship with the fanhood, with the fans. Sorry, I don't know if fanhood is a word, but with the fans, the people that come in and support every game. It was a lot of not the happiest faces I've seen in a while, or it wasn't like the best feeling coming out of the stadium, whether it was from the players, from the coaching staff, and also just from the fans itself. So, I think as we go in here, my goal is, going forward is not to really find a fault, but is find what can be done next. Where can we go next to prepare, or what can the team do better in the future? Would it be maybe moving away and moving on from Josh Wolf? Whether it be Rodo's input in the team, is what is he going to tell Wolf going forward in regards to this type of tournaments? There's a lot that I think we don't realize, but it's at stake when we play international tournaments, because it's not just the team, but it's also the league. It's the representation of even a country. So I also want to point out something very, very quick before I head out. I know that before the game, usually when there's international or national teams playing against each other, you hear the national anthem from both teams. And we didn't hear the Mexican anthem for this game, but we heard the U.S. anthem. I have a friend that told me some information that might be helpful to clear up any miscommunication or clear up any negativity that could go around these decisions. Some of these decisions, from what I heard, they're not based on what the MLS would do or any saying the MLS will have, but it's more so from what I heard, it's a state decision where if a sporting event is played in Texas, you have to play the U.S. national anthem, and when two clubs are playing against each other in other states, you don't have to. Now, we don't know. It'll be good. Let me know if you find any research. Or I can also find more research about it. But I think for my goal for this, this specific subject is to not take it overboard, or hopefully not take it as it's an anti-country situation. I think it's situations or decisions that are out of the hands of the people that are organizing this tournament. And now the one thing that we don't know, if they're going to play the national anthems for both teams on the game between Juarez and Mazatlan on Tuesday the 25th. So it's an interesting, I would say, take or interesting decision if it's anything that the MLS can't do, but they have to do because it's a state law. We all know how sometimes some of the laws in the states or in the countries, we don't approve with it, we don't agree with it. But I just wanted to point it out, and I think if it's up to me, you play both national anthems of the teams that are playing if they represent a different country. That way, you're showing a level of you're cordial to the country of each team. That would be the best, the safest decision to make, in my opinion. But anyways, I know we are going or seeing a lot of information, and sometimes these type of games bring a lot of negativity or even confusion. And just know that any point of view that you have, you have the right to have it. You have the right to express yourself, but also just keep it in the lines of respect. It's a tough one. It's a very tough pill to swallow, and especially losing 2 times in international games, it makes us look like we're not really paying attention to any bubble outside of Austin. I hope things are different in the future, and I hope the team has a very favorable result against Juarez. But I also hope that this can be a learning lesson for everybody. This can be a learning lesson not just for me, but also could be a learning lesson for the team, for the coaching staff, for the players, for the fan, and to understand that the love of foot, this game of football, it can be unpredictable, and we've experienced it not just once, but maybe 3 times in this past 3 years that that team's been around. So let me know your thoughts, and I'm gonna be doing a couple more fan segment shows after our 100th episode. So shoot me an email, Ricardo@OtraXFavor, and let me know what you think or if you want to be part of it. And stay cool because it's hot outside. Se cuidan, se portan bien. Adiós.